What's going on, people? I want to touch on a few points today, and after that, we can get into some questions. I think my main overall points I want to speak on, other than navigating the media industry and entertainment industry, are about potential. And it's so funny because when I was in year 11, I actually have all my school reports upstairs in the room still, and I'm 35 now. My mom saved every single one of my report cards and everything from primary school all the way through GCSEs. And now looking back on it, when I was in that moment, I didn't think that was important. And now I realize that it's the little things that make up the big things. And I think one of the most important processes in life you have to come to grips with is that you never know who's watching you, and you never know what is and isn't important. And if you are in a situation, it is super, super important to apply yourself, even if you don't think it's important to you right now. And looking back on my reports, I was so disappointed in myself almost. I was like, why didn't I just attack and apply myself in the correct ways? And I think there's a lot of learning and tools that come from that. And that's what's gonna apply in your further life, whether you wanna be anything, whether it's entertainment or corporate or whatever. So that's the first thing. And then secondly, I would say that me living in London, there was a certain worldview and a certain pressure that came from living in London that I felt like it kind of deterred some people from following their dreams. There's a lot of naysayers. It could be social media, it could be your friends, it could be anybody. But I think what's very important to me is knowing that it sounds very cliche, but following your dreams and being content is that to me is success. People say, oh yeah, you've done videos for Drake and City Girls and blah 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 blah, and you made money, and they're like, what is success? I'm like, success honestly is being happy. And being happy is walking in your own footsteps, and being secure in that. This industry and life in general is gonna knock you down over and over again. You're gonna hear more no's than you hear yeses. You're gonna be turned down. You're gonna be moved to the side. You're gonna be overlooked. You're gonna be done by. And I think it's important to show that, just to have that resilience. And that resilience also, I think, is helped by not chasing material or money. I feel like you need to chase the art and the passion and the love, and have the money be a byproduct of your greatness, not chasing the money and then being compromised. So I think that also comes in happiness, is finding your passion or passions and following those through. And a lot of it is about the journey and the process, not about the end result. I think that the prize and the success is the journey in general, and the end result and the extra prizes are a result of that hard work. Now, when it comes to this industry, I would say that what I really want to get across is there are so many opportunities and roles and jobs that people have absolutely no idea about. When I was in year 11, all I knew was basketball. So I didn't know there was media industry with this role and that role for anybody and everybody. It doesn't matter if you're short, tall, black, white, big, whatever. Just like there's so much to do here, creative and non-creative. So that's what I want to get across as well. Because when I was in school, I think one of the biggest things I would go back and change is that I didn't have a varied interest when it came to my hobbies. All I knew was I'm playing ball and I'm going to the NBA. That's it. Nothing else matters. You can't tell me nothing. But then now, as I'm older, I'm realizing, wow, there's so many opportunities for people to do things, and it's not just about being a director or a producer or etc. There are roles where Show of hands. How many of you know what a colorist is? A color grader. You know what it is? Cool. So a colorist, for example, or a color grader is similar to what you guys do every day on your Instagram. When you upload a picture, you might edit it, put filters on it, do some face tuning. You might put some color grader is that equivalent, but in video form. I never knew what color grader was, and now I know that color graders get paid a handsome amount of money to sit at home on a computer and play with filters and edit videos all day. And and whether it's whether it's art direction or stylists or playing around with electricians, like some of you might be interested in like trade school, and that could apply going into the industry. It's not just about the glitz and the glam. There are several things. You might be interested in like cooking. You might want to be a chef. Great. You could be on set doing the catering for a Spider-Man movie. So I would love everyone to just take a vested interest in knowing that our industry and our society has things for you out there to do other than what's shown on TV or the internet. And then I think one of the biggest hurdles for me growing up when I was a kid was I wasn't aware that you could make a great living doing things other than being an athlete. The biggest failure in life isn't actually failing. The biggest failure is not trying. And the biggest lessons you will ever learn come from losing. Winning doesn't teach you anything. It's cuddly and cute and good feelings. And yeah, I won. But when you lose, that's actually your best lesson. So don't be afraid to step out because of the fear of failure. And that's how I was as well. I was always a bit worried that, am I going to be good enough? Am I going to step out and fall on my face flat and everyone will laugh at me and point fingers at me? And then in hindsight, I actually don't mind losing now because those are the best lessons. And those are the ones that's going to teach me everything I need to know about life. So I want all you guys and gals to know that the real failure is not trying. The real failure is not applying yourself. And it's okay to lose. It's okay to fall short because those aren't actually losses. L's are actually lessons, not losses. So you either win, great. And if you lose, you actually learn as well. So, there's a lot of pressure being 16 to 22, where you feel like you have to have your life figured out in your 20s. Oh, I need to be mashing P by the time I'm 25. Or I need to be a millionaire by 30. It's a fallacy. It's a lie. And life, you keep on learning. I've got people older than me, like my fathers and uncles and aunties that are in their 60s and 70s, and they're still learning and still telling me they're figuring it out. So no one has all the answers other than you. So just don't be afraid to apply yourself and don't be afraid to take that leap and those jumps because you're going to find out very interesting things about yourself and society in general. So, that's also one of the things I would say. And for me, my story coming up was it wasn't that straightforward. I think people now, they see the accolades, they see the results. And don't get me wrong, it's been fun. It's been fun to work with so-and-so artists, MTV nominations, BT nominations, traveling all over the world and all that. But that also comes with, I'm sure you heard it, it takes 10 years to make someone an overnight success. You have to put in your 10,000 hours. And there are no shortcuts. There are no tricks. Nothing. Whether that's legally or not, there are no tricks. So you might as well do the right thing. So what I'm also trying to say is that when you start applying yourself and you put in your 10,000 hours and you put in your 10 years of work, that's when you're going to see those results. So, but that also comes with, like I said before, being thick-skinned and knowing that you're going to hear no. But when you're hearing no, you can't internalize it and take it personally because the truth is it's a cold world. Nobody cares. That's the truth. The truth is that it's strictly business. So when you're knowing that people are saying these things to you, or that it's probably not personal, it's all business. So just take these lessons and hopefully you can go out there into the world where you know that there are opportunities out there that aren't in front of your face. And I would hope that with the resources available to you, with the internet, with social media, with emails, with Google searches, all these resources should be at your fingertips. And then hopefully, we can put something together for you guys, like I said before, to get you on the right track to learning more and finding out more about this. But like I said, it doesn't matter where you're from, how you look, what you're interested in, there is a place and a role for you in this industry, So those are the main points I want to make today. Who is your favorite artist to work with and why? And that's from Jack. You know what? I would say that a lot of the artists have different reasons why I like working with them. So a lot of the UK artists, to me, are pretty calm and reserved. So, whether that's Stormzy or Heady One, I just did 2 Heady One videos over the past summer. And a lot of times the UK artists I find are just easier to corral because they're just calmer, I would say. Similar to the Nigerian artists, whether that's Wizkid. I did the Come Closer video with Wizkid featuring Drake. And I would say the Nigerian artists and the British artists are very similar in their demeanor. They're easy to work with. And then the American artists, a lot of them aren't as easy to work with, but then you're also getting a level of showmanship and charisma and flamboyancy. I think like they're less reserved. So you're getting 2 benefits, I would say. So I don't necessarily have a favorite, but one thing I would say about people like perhaps Migos or Nicki Minaj are that it's just interesting seeing people on the internet and on TV and they're living this fast life and doing all this crazy stuff. But in real life, you just realize these people are hard workers. And someone's attitude might seem like today's are cool, or they might seem like it's all fun and games. But the biggest common denominator between the European artists, American artists, and the British artists are that it's not a game. And when it's showtime, it's showtime. When you press record on that camera, they're bringing their A game and they're not wasting time on set. So I think that's the common denominator, just seeing the greatness doesn't change between regions. And I think, it's nice to have hard work and consistency being that common denominator for all the artists. So to answer your question, I don't have a favorite, but I like them for different reasons. How long does music take to produce? How long is a piece of string? I don't know, but I'm going to answer your question in terms of music videos, not music. I would say, and that's from Harry, that question. I would say the average music video is a 1-day shoot. Some of them are 2 days, and very, very rarely you have 3-day shoots. So that's just the actual shoot day. But the prep time, on average, I would say is 2 to 3 weeks of prep prior to the video taking place, 1 or 2 day shoot, and then in post-production, which is the edit, the color grade, like I mentioned before, that's another 1 week to a month. So as a whole, I would say the average music video takes a month to make if you're talking about the pre, the during, and the post. So a month is a good number. Next question. Where do you get your inspiration from for different music videos? I would say the biggest inspirations for me come from the music itself. And I think music is very visual and music tells a visual story. Some songs just speak to me. So for example, when I heard Bad and Bougie, it just came to me straight away. Like the music is telling me what's happening. Bad and bougie. I thought, yeah, this is saying what it's saying, bad and bougie. Therefore, the video will be that. But then I have to flip it in a way to make it, more conceptual. But other songs, for example, like I did a video for Lil Uzi called Sanguine Paradise. He had the idea to do a reference from the Blade movie with Wesley Snipes. So sometimes it comes to me solo. Other times the artist has an idea, and other times I've got a folder on my Instagram called Inspiration, funnily. And anytime I see a picture on the gram that I like or a video, I just bookmark it and just save it. And I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos and pictures saved on my Instagram in this folder. And then when I'm stuck, what I'll do is listen to the song. I'll play it in a car, play it in the house when I'm cleaning, and I'll just go through this folder while listening to the song and see if anything jumps out at me. So inspiration comes from movies. It comes from editorials. It comes from cinema. It comes from TV. It comes from friends. It comes from books. I've driven past the billboard, seen something that inspired me. Boom! I'm gonna take that, use that as the initial breaking point for the concept. So I'll say inspiration is all around you, and sometimes it doesn't come in the most obvious forms. But then I also have a lot of creative block sometimes as well, whether that's writer's block or just creative block in general. And I think what helps me get out of that creative block most times is not focusing on the task at hand and doing something totally unrelated. I might go for a walk, I might take a nap, I might do some other work, I might have meetings instead, but I feel like taking myself out of that tornado just helps me clear my mind. Which out of all the videos you have directed are you the most proud of? That's from Daniel. The video I am most proud of, I'm a little bit biased because of the results, unfortunately, of the video, but I would say that a lot of my videos that I like didn't garner the attention that I wanted, but I still love them because they are solid videos. But to answer your question, maybe either Bad and Bougie or T-Shirt by the Migos. And I think because of just what surrounded it. The videos are cool, don't get me wrong. But what happened around that, it changed rap and it changed trap music forever. So I think I'm most proud of those videos, not because the video was amazing like they were, but what happened around it, it basically helped me cement myself and solidify myself on the timeline of music history and rap history. And me being a rap fan since a kid, you know, it was just nice to also be acknowledged and had my own mark in the time of sound as well. So yeah, I would say either Bad and Bougie or T-Shirt. One of the students saw a video where you said you have been mentored. How did you find this and was it useful? From Omar. Mentorship is probably the most useful thing that anybody could have. And I feel like one thing very important about life is this. You have to apply yourself and you have to make yourself of service to someone else. I think everybody wants to be the chef, but before you're the chef, you have to be the cook in the kitchen. And there's nothing wrong with being a worker. There's nothing wrong with working a normal job. Normal jobs are where you're going to learn about life skills and patience and team and community. And anything you're doing in life, mentorship-wise, for me, is so important. And that's any industry, anywhere. Be around the people you want to be like. If you want to be a lawyer, I suggest you hang around lawyers. If you want to be a footballer, I suggest you do that too. If you want to be a, wherever it is, accountant, I would probably hang around accountants. So networking and mentorship are crucial to your success in any field for you to gain and climb up that ladder. But as you're doing it, you have to truly immerse yourself in that experience. And like I said before, make yourself at service, make yourself useful. There is no charity out here. Nobody cares. Trust me, it's a cold world. Nobody cares. Make yourself useful, make yourself an asset, and then hopefully you're around good people that will in turn provide opportunities for you because you have made yourself an asset. If you didn't do production, what would you be doing? If I didn't do production, man, I couldn't tell you, but I'm a very creative person in general. I feel like maybe something to do with fashion, but I have my own brand as well, my own streetwear brand. So either way, it'll be something creative. I think for me, what gets my gears grinding, what gets me excited is just creating anything. Maybe that, or maybe an architect, because I like art and physics. I feel like architecture is physics and art meet each other. And I'm a geek, so I read about anything and everything. If you see my browser history, you'll be like, what is this guy on? I read the most random articles and I just love learning in general. about anything really. So yeah, if I wasn't producing, maybe an architect. Yes, a big one. Architect. Who would be your dream collaboration from Aryan? I would say my dream collaboration, it has to be Beyonce or Rihanna, I would say. Yeah, Beyonce is that. Yeah, Beyonce or Rihanna. I met both of them at the same party, at the same day, actually. And I just said hi. I didn't talk about work. I felt like every time I talk about work to people, it just never comes true. So I just kept my cool and just said hi and kept it moving. But yeah, Beyonce and Rihanna would be good. What is the average salary for someone entering the music industry? From Kashala, money. The average salary is nothing, zero, zilch. It's hard and it's oversaturated and it's tough. So even though I'm telling you to pursue and focus on all those things as you should, just know that it's not an easy road. And a lot of people, most people will fall off. Most people won't make it. Most people won't have the, how do you say it in PG terms? Fortitude. Fortitude to push through and carry on. It's not easy. And I feel like there are high earners in this industry, but initially it's not about the money. And I said before, if it is about the money, then maybe you should go do investment banking or hedge fund stuff if it's about money. If it's about the love of the process and the love of the art, then yeah, it's for you. And because you're going to be rewarded because you love creating. And that's payment initially, because you are doing something that's your hobby and you're seeing the results. That should be it. And if it's not for you and that's not for you, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. So the average salary, there is no average salary because there's so many roles, so many, from people that's dealing with the plumbing to the electricians, to the catering, to the stylists, to the makeup artist, to the director. There is no average salary to tell you, but I will tell you that no matter what you're starting as, it's very, very low. And it's very, very tough. But those that persevere and hang on will be rewarded very, very well. I would say that, to give you an example, later on down the line, after you've earned your chops and you've gone through the fire and the flame, like I was saying before, I know colorists, like I was saying before, color graders that are making £1,000 a day, sitting at home and messing around with their computer. Now, it's harder than that, don't get me wrong. I know stylists earning £2,000 a day, but it's not necessarily consistent work either, and there's valleys and peaks. So you have to have good cash flow management as well, because just because you had a good 2 months, take me for example. COVID hit last year. When was that? March 2020? Yeah? March hit.
Yeah.
I did a few videos during COVID. I did 2 City Girls videos. I did a video for Future. And then I would say I did a video for Lil Baby. Between September 2020 and March 2021, I did 0 jobs. 0. Zilch. Therefore, I had little to 0 income for, what's that, 6 months, 5 months? So even though I might tell you when someone gets paid this much a day, it's not every day. And so-and-so gets paid this much a month, it's not every month. And everyone has their season, everyone has their moment. So as you also navigate through, if you do happen to make it to the other side where you're earning, just know that you have to diversify and make sure you're okay for the rainy days, because this industry is treacherous. And if you don't have good cash flow management, you're stuck. To cut a long story short. What would you say is your best work and why? I think I answered that already. Oh, no. That's a different question. Best work. You know what? I'm really proud of my latest video I did for Chris Brown. It came out in March. That's the one that got me out of my work funk. Go Crazy remix with, who's on it? Lato, Lil Baby, Future, and Young Thug. I would say I'm really proud of that video because it was my first time. No, not first time. It was one of my first. one of my beginning times, probably third time working with big VFX. And it was nice to show that I could do that, because a lot of clients wouldn't hire me because they didn't think that I could handle that level of VFX. So it was nice to have no help, solo dolo. The idea is 100% mine, and I'm out here with one of the biggest artists of our generation. Just let me do my thing. So recently, I would say I'm very proud of that video. Go watch that. Go Crazy remix. What are your opinions on the dangers or the toxicity of the media industry? You know what? It can be very toxic, but I feel like people need to separate the business from the caricatures. It's all WWE. None of it is real. This is wrestling. Everyone's wrestlers. It's not real. So if you know it's not real, then you shouldn't get caught up in the nonsense. If you think it's real and you think that these people are really doing this and doing it, it's just not like that. So I would say that it's all entertainment. And if you look at it like Vin Diesel movie where everyone's doing crazy driving and big shootouts, and that's quite toxic, but I know it's not real. So I would definitely say that it can be toxic depending on your outlook and how you approach things. But I would also say just take it with a grain of salt, because it's just entertainment and it's just WWE. So know yourself, I would say, and don't get caught up in the extras. What type of music is best to encourage a successful career, i.e. speaking of experience or making things up from the genre? What type of music is best? There are no straightforward answers to that question. I feel like, once again, success is independent of what you think it is. To me, it's being happy and mentally sound. To someone else, it's getting a Ferrari. To her, it's getting a mansion. Depends what success is to you. And the internet has made a space for everybody with streaming and all these platforms. The world's interconnectivity right now is amazing, where you don't have to pander or do something because it's a trend. There are enough people out there. There's 7 billion people, and most of us are now connected, that you can do any kind of music you want, and there'll be someone out there that likes it. So, but stats-wise, yeah, rap is running the whole thing right now. Stats-wise, when you look at the charts, I feel like hip-hop is such a marketable genre that I would say, as of right now, stats-wise, numbers, streaming, just pure data, yeah, overall, you can't really touch rap right now. Have you ever been underestimated in your job? Can you give an example? That's from Nyasha. Have I been underestimated? Of course. I feel like when I was first getting my feet wet and people didn't know who I am or they didn't know what I could do, there was this level of doubt. And one of the biggest underestimations you can make, and that I've been made, is probably underestimating myself, where you're in a pressure situation, you've got a big record label like Sony or Universal, you got big artists, you got a nice budget to play with, and you start doubting yourself and you start thinking, and you'll get there, trust me. And when you get there, you have to just quickly blank out of it. You're gonna ask yourself, am I good enough? You're gonna ask yourself, why am I here? You're gonna get something called imposter syndrome, where you feel like you're not supposed to be here, and that's gonna make you wanna fold in the clutch. And that's the biggest underestimation I probably made that's the biggest underestimation that has been made, is me to myself. And everyone comes to that point. If you are a creative, you're gonna question, am I good enough? And it happens quite often. But another time that someone has underestimated me, yeah, I mean, a few times, you know, certain clients or certain record labels might think that they want someone else to do the job, and they didn't want me getting the job, but I got it because the artists like me, and they didn't think the video would come out like that. And then, here I am. What is the story behind the name Daps? Daps, I'm Nigerian, my name is Dakbo. So everyone called me Daps since I was a kid. My parents called me Daps, my dad called me Daps, my mom called me Daps. I didn't make it up. I just went with it. It sounds pretty cool. So yeah. Have you ever done anything you regret? Vishal. Ooh, again personal now. Maybe 1 or 2 moments. But would I do it again? Sorry, would I take it back and do it differently? No, because every action has a reaction, and I'm very, very, very perfectly fine with how I've turned out now as a mature, tax-paying citizen. I would say that in the moment it might have felt regretful, and looking back on it, I would say that that wasn't the wisest decision. But once again, valleys and peaks, like I mentioned before, everything, all the small parts of your life, all the small parts of your journey make up the bigger picture. And now that I'm content and happy and doing what I'm doing, if I had not done that thing I regret, would I be here right now? There's something called the butterfly effect. Who knows? Butterfly effect, if you've never heard of it, the theory states that if a butterfly flaps its wings in China, it can cause a hurricane in America. That's a crazy example. But what it's really saying is that any little thing could have the biggest reaction. So do I regret anything? Nope. It is what it is. I am who I am. How did you know that you wanted to work in the music industry? From Tilly. How did I know? I can't put my finger on it, but like I said earlier, I've always been creative. And I feel like I didn't grow up in a typical Nigerian household. Normally, Nigerian household is, face your books. Are you mad? You just be a lawyer, doctor, engineer. I didn't really have those pressures like that. And my mom was a professional athlete for Nigeria. And my dad was a writer and a political commentator. So I don't really think I had that kind of, you must face your books pressure like that. And we placed a lot of emphasis on extracurricular activities. So for as far as I can remember, I've always done something creative, whether it could be as simple as playing Lego. Like, I was the realist at Lego. You can't really see me at Lego, trust me. And after that, I remember designing trainers. I've got drawings upstairs in a year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6 that I thought I was gonna work for Nike. So yeah, I just don't ever remember not being creative. Now, when it comes to the music industry specifically, I've always been a music fan and a rap fan. I'm like a rap encyclopedia. So it wasn't, maybe it was destined, I'm not sure. But yeah, it didn't really shock me, or like there wasn't no big convergence, or I went left and right. I've always been interested in creating and music specifically. So it was always one of my loves, other than basketball. I'll say those are the biggest inspirations for me. Are there any books you would recommend to help someone self-actualize? I feel our generation is impatient to find out how great mindsets are built. From Omar. Great question, Omar. This internet thing, honestly, I have to applaud all of you guys, because I don't know how it is growing up 16, 17, 18 with these social media pressures, boy. Because I see adults on there acting crazy and folded. So I can't even imagine how it is. And I think the internet has created what I call microwave generation. Everything seems instant. And it's not. And if it is instant, it's probably not good for you. It's like fast food. It might taste good right now, but trust me, there's a lot of detriment to it. So I feel like that same thing with the successor process. I feel like young people are seeing the results and they're seeing the glory, but they're not knowing what people are going through or sacrificing to get to that point and get to that end goal. And B, they're not realizing that, like I said earlier, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. So have you done your hours? Have you done your grind? So books-wise, I'm not the most versed on self-help books. I love the 48 Laws of Power. But I take these life lessons not just from self-help books, but from other books and seeing what they're trying to tell us, whether it's The Alchemist by Paul Coelho, whether it's Harry Potter, whether it's Children of Blood and Bone by Timmy Tucker. So there are lots of books out there. Someone else might be able to answer that question better, but I feel like in general, to get to your point, yes, impatience will get you the wrong things very quickly. And I feel like you have to also know that this life game, like I said earlier, just isn't about being lit in your teens and being lit in your 20s. That's what I thought it was. I thought I was 18, 19, 20, running around trying to get money. And I thought those are the best years of my life. And it really isn't. Like, trust me, you have a lot of time. So breathe, live in the moment, try new things, and do not be deterred because he or she is doing something at a certain pace. Do not be envious of anybody because, oh, she's driving this car, or she's got this boyfriend, or he's doing this, he's getting money. You don't know what they're going through behind closed doors. Trust me. You don't know what demons they're fighting, what they have given up to be in said position. So be content in yourself. And everyone's path isn't the same path. And it might take you 3 years. It might take her 1 month. It might take him 2 days. It might take you 10 years. Don't compete with people in a time sense, and don't compare or envy, because comparison is a thief of joy.